Well,
So,
so thank you. Yes, girl, thank you. So I already hit record. So
okay.
we're just gonna talk.
Yeah,
This is
great.
gonna be super casual. It's kind of like what I do with everybody. I just let it fly. And
Yeah.
I have a couple, actually, I have like a full list of questions for you guys.
Yeah.
But so I will do a little introduction. Welcome to Cancer Culture, ladies.
Thanks.
Welcome, welcome. So I really wanted to talk to, so I have Kelly, Caitlin, and Michelle here with me, and all
Yes.
of you are a part of the Ohio Amateur Quarter Horse Association,
Yes.
correct? Yep.
Yes.
And I specifically wanted to talk to you ladies because I have wanted to attend your Little Buckeye show forever. And last year, it was like on my absolute list of having to go. And then my horse got hurt, so I couldn't.
Yeah.
But so many people have hyped up your horse show, like everywhere, like not just in Pennsylvania or Ohio. Like you guys get people from everywhere coming to this horse show. And
Yeah.
I want to pick your brain about the who, what, when, where, and the why. Because I feel like AQHA is in this weird spot right now of participation and getting people excited to come to horse shows because there's not a lot in it for us right now, I
Yeah.
guess. So I guess let's just go around the room, so to speak. And I would love to know, Michelle, you're at the bottom of my screen. So I'm going to start with you and then Kelly and then
Yeah.
Caitlin. And I just want to know, Michelle, like, what do you do within the association?
So I'm the president. I was the previously I was secretary of social media, moved up to president last year in 2025, and then was reelected for 2026. So I am the top dog, I guess you could say. But, I think it's really important to stress that although I am president, I lean very heavily on my executive team and the board itself. We're all amateurs. We all love to show. We all love what we do. So it doesn't all just fall on me. I really find it important to delegate and empower my officers and directors when we split up committees and let them make the decisions that they feel are best and guide them along with that.
Awesome. And that's what I wanted to point that out, that everybody involved in the association is an amateur.
Yes. Hmm.
Everyone, which I think
Yeah.
is so cool and such an interesting perspective. I love that.
Yeah. And we
So,
have a variety of ages too. So like a lot of
oh,
us are in, the middle age, 30 to 40. We have some that are older. We have some that are fresh out of being youth. So that's really fun
okay.
too. And we all have, a lot of really interesting stories to give too. So we have a lot of very unique individuals.
Cool. I love that.
Yeah.
Okay, Kelly, what do you do?
Well, I'm currently the first vice president.
Okay.
I have been that for 2 years now. I was the second vice president for a couple years. I was only director for 1 year before they drafted me to the, you
To the
know,
moon.
big leagues. um, I also put together all of the awards for the horse show, which is a big
Oh,
task and a lot of
yes.
heavy lifting. But it's
Yes. And
nice that I only live like 20 minutes from the horse show,
uh,
so it's a perk. So.
yeah,
I do
amazing.
a lot of things at the horse show, though. I run around like a chicken with my head cut off, so you'll see me
Yeah,
everywhere.
I believe that.
Yeah.
Awesome. I definitely want to talk more about the prize thing. So we'll get into that. Okay, Caitlin, what do you do?
Yeah. Hi, guys. I'm Caitlin Riker. I help support the amateur board as the treasurer. So I bring that from my professional career. So I think that's another thing that I'd add. So we're an amateur board, but a lot of us have like different careers that we're bringing into this space as a strength. So I think the big thing that we've done, we have a budget, and then we all collectively align to that budget before the horse show starts. And then once that happens, it's really executing against that plan, because it is an expensive horse show. It's a big horse show to produce. So that's been really important for us. Years ago we did have unproductive horse shows, and so we really have had to, in the past few years, we've put together a recipe that's really helped us kind of bring it together. And I think that's really what has been successful for exhibitors as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And I had like everything that you guys have said are like little questions that I have along the way. So we'll get back to each like little thing.
Sure.
But when did you guys actually start the association? How long have you been a thing?
Oh,
Uh,
the
50
amateurs
years?
have been around for a long time. It's always
Oh,
been the extension of the Ohio Quarter Horse.
okay.
I know that years before, so I myself have been involved for, um, oh man, I showed at the original Buckeye Classic in 2013, and that was one of my
Oh,
first big horse shows when it was in Sunbury, and that
I was
was
there.
yeah,
I
me too.
remember. Yeah.
I had a big driver. Um,
Cool.
so, I got involved and then some life stuff happened. So I was showing, but didn't really know how to get on the board. And then a couple board members approached me a few years ago and said, "Hey, we think you'd be great. We're looking for, people that are passionate about showing and
Yeah.
moving the association forward." So
Yeah.
I want to say it's been quite a while, but this
Wow.
particular board has been together for several years, with some officers and directors floating in and out. But we've had a lot of really really great individuals involved throughout the years. Namely, Justin Billings, who's the Ohio Quarter Horse
Sure.
president,
Yeah.
was one that kind of was involved with the original Buckeye Classic and
Okay.
was really excited when this got reinvigorated and really tries to support us as best he can.
Awesome. Cool. Okay. So I know, so, and then like, why did you guys want to do this horse show? Like, did you feel there was a need for, like, what was the driver for this specific horse show?
And so it's been an evolution. So, obviously with everyone kind of transitioning in and out of the board, it had been at Sunbury, had been a collaborative effort with a different board. Kind of went back to Springfield, Ohio, and then
Mhm.
our past president, Heather Dewar, kind of took the risk when Garwood was just starting,
Yeah.
and moved the horse show to Garwood Arena, which has been also, we can't understate their partnership and facility
Yeah.
enough with the success of
Yeah.
this horse show. So, I think we've been with Garwood for 4 years now.
Okay.
We started with them when they were still, pieces and parts still building. We had to have a generator brought in for electricity and,
Oh my
just
gosh.
that like really cohesive
Yeah.
partnership and
Yeah.
communication, I think has kind of helped us bring it to where it has been the past few years.
Cool.
Yeah, and that's a great point, Caitlin. Garwood has been exceptional to work with us. I think every year we've had the biggest show there, and we're like, okay, how do we improve on this? But they have
Yeah.
been just incredible to work with. Anything we ask of them or their staff, just above and beyond. Whether it be good or bad, I think Bummer, we all know Bummer. He's just been like the right hand man, and walks around, makes sure everybody's happy. He always has a
Yeah.
kind word to say, as does everybody else involved in the Garwood Association. So really, really great, and thank you, Caitlin, for bringing that up because they're fantastic.
Yeah, I think that really helps the situation and, like finding a good place to show. Of course, I in my I'm on the amateur committee for AQHA, and a lot of what we talk about is initiatives about membership and getting people excited and like why and what's the point. And for me as an amateur, so when I had a corporate career for like 14 years, and I say only, but I had like 40 days of PTO, which is still a lot. But it was hard to go to some of these big circuits. Like, I could have never gone to Florida, never. Like, that
Yeah,
wasn't a thing. And, even like the madness, if I wanted to go do that, I had to really plan to be like, okay, I'm going to do that in the Congress. And that was it for big horse shows. I couldn't
yeah,
go do it. So I think it's really neat that you guys have, as amateurs, you're like, this is what's important. So AQHA was kind of asking that, like, what is the ideal horse show? If like for the majority of competitors. And for me, I would say that it was like a good schedule that you don't have to be there for a week. That people that work, if they wanted to do Friday, Saturday, Sunday, they could. Um, that there were like the meals and the prizes are good and maybe like a flat fee of some sort that encouraged you and maybe like a money class that you felt like you had a chance at getting something back, right? So, what do you guys like? How do you prioritize what you want for this horse show? Like, is it exhibitor like, do you guys focus on the exhibitor or the prizes? Or tell me a little bit about, like, how you guys do that.
I would say
That's
it's all of that.
Yeah.
it is
Yeah,
Every
I'm
ounce
sure.
of
high
that. We
highly
spend a lot of
collaborative.
time
Mhm.
thinking about every bit of that. We
Yeah.
do the engagement stipends, so we encourage all of our other amateur members to volunteer. It's only a minimum of 4 hours, I
4
think,
hours.
Yeah.
between our horse show and our pancake breakfast at the Congress.
Wait, can you
And
talk
then
more about that? Talk more about the stipend because I actually saw that on your Facebook and I
yeah.
was like, hold on. This is the
Yeah.
coolest thing ever. So tell us about that.
So, like I just said, if you volunteer 4 hours at our
Hmm.
horse show or our pancake breakfast and
Yep.
then attend, I think it's what, 3 or 4 of our Zoom meetings? 2? Oh, 2. Who knew? 2. 2 of our Zoom meetings, so it's not even like they're in person.
Yeah.
We'll give you either a Congress pass if you do them before, the deadline of Congress, or $50 cash, Venmo. So it's pretty
Oh,
easy to obtain and it helps get you, out there and involved with the Ohio amateurs and your horse show community. And it
And
helps
yeah.
us too.
it gives a lot of people that, because there's always this like curtain, right? Of, oh, those are people on the association and they run this big horse show. At the
Yeah.
end of the day, we're all people that love our horses and love to show. So it kind of pulls back the curtain a little bit to show people all of the things that go into running a show. Yes, the prizes are awesome. Yes, the food is awesome. Yes, we
Yeah.
have a huge horse show, but there's a lot of logistical things that need to go behind the scenes to make all of that run smoothly to the exhibitors in the arena.
Yeah.
We feed our judges, we feed our exhibitors, and
Yeah.
that all requires logistical planning. And then, of course, making sure that our sponsors have their banners up and up on the Jumbotron or on the t shirts. Like, there's a lot of things that go on well ahead of the show, and inviting people into our conference call and hearing all the planning really makes people excited about being involved and helping.
Yeah.
And for us, I mean,
That's a
we're a
good
board
point.
of 19 people. So to have a few individual extra people to help serve food or,
Yeah.
schlep awards in and out, or, even something as simple as cleaning the offices because, people are coming in with dirt, making sure those are swept in a nice area for our
Yeah.
staff and our volunteers to work in. It's all a big cog in the wheel and makes it go forward.
Yeah. That's
I
really cool.
I think the part that I'd kinda highlight is, like, as amateurs, we all kinda bring a voice of what do we appreciate at horse shows. I think the other piece, obviously coming from the treasurer's seat, we try to do a jackpot for our amateur exhibitors. So, you know, $40 walking cash, it's like, "Hey, there's some gas money," etcetera. So I
Yes.
think it's just, like, that small, like, awareness of, like, how do we kinda give back to all
Yeah.
exhibitors, just to kind of continue to encourage that participation. How do we keep the show affordable? That's the biggest thing.
Right, and I'm sure, like, it's not easy to make everybody happy, right? Like, I'm sure and you guys no, right, you're not gonna make everybody happy, of course,
We do our
but
darndest, but yeah.
and I feel like you guys have it pretty close to figured out because I know, like I said, I have wanted to go to your horse show so bad. I'm like, I just wanna be there because I think it's really neat that the schedule I is enticing for me, and so but everybody shows one time, right? Is that the way your
Yeah.
horse show
Mhm.
is? And I personally I like that. I know some are like, "Yeah, but I want, like, a second shot at it." But for me, that's kinda how we always used to do it, you prepared and then you showed, like, that was
Right.
Yeah.
it. And then I like how you guys do the food, and everybody raves that the food is really good too, like, it's not
Yeah.
just junky food. So, again, do you guys have somebody that's in charge of all of this stuff, or do you have, like, a conference call that you're like, "Okay, we're gonna talk about the food this time," and then the schedule, or how do you guys do this?
Yeah, so we divide and conquer really.
Okay.
Sarah and Hannah, who are two of our directors, Sarah's was our secretary, is now our news reporter. So she's handling a lot of the social media and the updates outward facing. Her and Hannah have done the food for a couple, 3 years and really have it down to a science with the partners that we go with and, making sure that we give everybody a quality meal and making
Yeah.
sure that it's served, hot if it's a hot meal. So they bring a lot of restaurant experience to it.
Oh,
And,
cool. That's
we've
cool.
leaned on them. But, it's a collaborative effort. So one thing that Heather started doing, and I kind of have carried the torch, is, you know, putting people in charge of something, and then lending support. So obviously there's a lot of different tasks to be done. So having one point person and then a couple people to step in and help. And then obviously volunteers is needed too. And we talk through that during our board meetings. So our board meetings are actually split up in between horse show and the actual board. So the horse show
Okay.
meeting usually runs for about an hour. We try really hard to keep it to that hour. So it starts at 6, and then we talk about all things horse show. So, you know, we'll have Kelly give an awards update. We'll have a food update. We'll have a sponsor update. You know, if there's anything that needs to happen with trail equipment or, you know, our judges or anything like that, you know, people give their reports. And then in turn, during our board meeting, we highlight all of those. But, you know, people are welcome to both the horse show and the board meeting with us to
Mhm.
hear. And, you know, we're always open to suggestions. And some of the things have been implemented that people have said, hey, we'd really love this, or we'd love to see that, or, you know, hey, can we tweak the schedule for this because
Yeah.
there's conflict. So we try really hard to take everything in and work with Jarrett and Kathy at Equine Production to
Yeah.
make sure that that is as smooth as possible.
Absolutely. So that was another question I had. Like, what did you guys do in the beginning that you now have seen you've changed over the years? I'm sure you like from when you started, you guys were like, okay, that didn't work. So let's go this way. So, what are some big things that you've changed, or can you give us any insight to something maybe that you're doing this year that is new that maybe you've changed?
I
Ah,
think the scheduling is something that you
Yeah.
kind of brought up.
Yeah.
You know, yes, we only show once, but our classes have been massive. So we
yeah.
can't even fit 2 shows in. So it is a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday show, but
Mhm.
it's not a surprise to have 40 or 50 in our classes. So it's definitely competitive. You know, we try to make sure our patterns are set up for Youth World Show. So it's a good Youth World Show prep going into that, going into NSBA based on our calendar timing. But we try to be pretty flexible. So last year, we originally only had 2 sets of judges scheduled through Saturday, and we
Oh,
quickly realized with how big our horse show was, none of us want to show till midnight. We certainly don't want to be showing late on a Sunday, given, you know, Sunday scaries into Monday work.
yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
So we were able to quickly pivot and try to keep that second set of judges, to move through the day on Sunday. So those are just kind of like an example of just trying to pivot and adjust,
Yeah.
on the fly. And then, you know, the preseason planning is where we try to really map out everything else. So this year, for 2 sets of judges the whole time.
Yep.
Awesome.
And 2 arenas running concurrently, which, you know, most of our trainers are okay with. And, you know,
Yeah.
we try to be as upfront. So there's a lot of conversations last year because Sunday is our hunt seat day, and we have the pleasure driving. We had our NSBA Hunter Under Saddle jackpot class, and then, you know, a lot of walk trot and other things. So we had to make the decision what makes the most sense. So we moved our youth and our walk trot into what we call the ranch arena,
Nice.
and then kept the big Hunter Under Saddle classes in the main arena just for safety,
Yeah.
and, you know, to make sure that everybody had room to work. The really nice thing about Garwood, if you haven't been there,
Yeah.
is even if we're running 2 arenas, they're relatively close to each other.
Oh,
It's
nice.
maybe 100 paces in between them at most. So it's not a, you know, a WEC situation or a Springfield situation where you're having to journey, you know,
Yeah.
to get to both of pens.
Yeah. No, that makes a lot of sense. And I know I've talked to trainers recently that were like, you guys talked about like the Sunday thing, and that a lot of their selects or their older amateurs that have like big time corporate jobs, that Monday morning they go in and they literally lock their office door until like 10 a.m. because they have to recover. And
Yeah,
we were saying that like horseshoeing shouldn't be like that, right? Like we should
right.
be able to get home, see our families on Sunday, and like get ready for the week. So I think that's really cool that you guys are respecting that and trying to, well, of course, because you all feel it too.
Right.
But that's not fun. Like Monday after a horse show is horrible. So, and I feel like as I'm getting older, it takes me until about Wednesday to
Yeah.
recover. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, and
yeah.
that's one thing that is different from our horse show in Ohio than any other one is all of our amateur classes go first.
Oh,
Yeah.
I do like that.
So, it's obviously, at the end of Sunday when we're doing High Point Awards, we try and have
Yeah.
it all calculated out. And I think it's important to talk through how Kelly does the awards because we have per class, we have
Yeah.
circuits, we have, first, second, third High Point. Um,
For a
we have
weekend
the,
horse show.
yeah,
This isn't like,
yeah,
which I think is really neat. Some of these weekend horse shows that don't give circuit awards and things like that, I think that hurts things just because if you are the cumulative winner out of two, three, four judges, you're the circuit champion. Like
yeah,
you won your class.
yeah.
So I do think that's important. So before we get into the awards, because I know the sponsors are probably really crucial to your award
Yes,
Very.
budget.
yes.
So if you guys could touch on your sponsors and how you get people to give you money, explain that to us.
So, it's a tough thing, right? Because people want to say pay to play, but as Allie and the girls do, I own a business. So I want to make sure that, I'm getting something back for it. We want to make sure that our sponsors, get the benefits of being on our website, being on our t-shirts. There's signage around the awards room, there's signage in the arena, there's signage on the Jumbotron. So making sure that they're feeling all of that advertising and support from us is
Yeah.
obviously paramount. And I know some clubs do a really good job of it. Other clubs, could probably do a little bit better at it, but that's something that we are very forward facing on in making sure that there are things that they feel the benefit of. So, everybody loves the little Buckeye t-shirts. It's cold
Yes.
here, so I don't have mine on. I have
Yes.
my amateur shirt on, but they're
Yes.
super soft. They're basically a collector's item if you show in
Yes.
Ohio.
Yes.
Um,
I
so
feel like I have mine from the original one. And I
yeah,
remember, I remember pulling into the horse show and it was like, I feel like I got it upon like pulling in with my
yeah,
trailer.
yeah,
And I remember being like, I got a t-shirt. This is so
yeah,
cool. I did. And
yes.
I still have it.
Yep, I do
Yeah.
too. So
Yeah.
that's one thing that, people wear those everywhere. And, we
Yes.
we see them at Congress, we see them at the world
Yeah.
shows, we see them, out and about. I know my husband really likes them too. So I always try and,
Yeah.
at the end of the show, if we have extras, I always buy him one because
Yeah.
he loves it too. He's like, these are great. And he's not a horse guy.
Yeah.
But he's like, these shirts are fantastic. So, making sure that our sponsors feel the love is of course, of paramount and making sure that they're advertised appropriately. But, there are some benefits on the back end, depending on the level, if they provide us, enough support for, say one of the dinners, because really our sponsorship money is what makes the horse show go, because
Yeah.
we do spend a lot up front to make sure that, we have Garwood, we have the prizes and the awards and have the cash to do the jackpot, that sponsor money really is how we fund the show.
Yeah. Now, do you feel like you have the same sponsors like year after year, or do you have new faces?
We have a lot of core sponsors, and I think those are people that, show Ohio, support
Yeah.
Ohio. They're exhibitors, and their clients love showing with us, and it's like the marquee show for some people.
Yeah.
We do have a lot of I have the sponsor thing right next to me here because I've been working on outreach as we're talking. So we do have a lot that are residual sponsors, and
Mhm.
we certainly appreciate them and make sure that they feel the love both before, during, and after the horse show.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Okay, Kelly. So, how do you pick the prizes? How do you do this?
Luck and a prayer.
She's no, she's
Well,
so
you
aware. She's
know,
so good.
I am a I like to say I'm a little frugal. Caitlin makes fun of me a lot.
No,
Yeah.
I love it.
But
The
being that
budget loves you.
yeah, she's a treasure, so she loves it. I'm frugal.
Yeah.
So I hunt down really good deals. I work with our sponsors
Yeah.
and I talk to our exhibitors. I see what they like and don't like.
Yeah.
I also try to see what's easy for us to get a lot of because we
Mhm.
need a lot of them. So we
Yeah.
do, like we've mentioned, the high points. We do a reserve high point and a bronze high point
Okay.
for all divisions and a ranch, like in an overall
Overall.
ranch high point.
Okay.
And then we also do a circuit award for every single class, level 3, level
Amazing.
2, level 1, rookie, walk, trot,
Amazing.
all of them.
Yeah.
And then we have lead line, which is nuts. We
Yeah.
have every single child wants to do that. We
Yeah.
actually had to go to a pre-registration for that before a
Yes.
horse show because we were so worried we were going to run out of prizes for
Yes.
these kids. And we
Oh,
are up to approximately 35, which is a huge lead line class,
yes.
which is very impressive to see in the pen and is amazing.
Yes.
We also do a first through sixth table. So if you
Oh,
place first through sixth under any judge, so depending on your class, if you place, you know, first, second, third, or fourth, you can come and get 4 things off the table. If you
cool.
place 4 times in the same class, you can come get 4 things off the table. And
Yeah.
everybody loves that. There's things from like shampoo to candy to seam rippers to,
Yeah.
Electrical tape,
bucket
vet
straps.
wrap.
Yeah,
Yeah.
little stuff. Yeah,
So,
little, like, grooming box stuff you need.
but
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's a
Yeah.
lot of work. It
Yeah. I
it is
bet.
a lot of work, and it's a lot of stuff because we have a big horse show, and
Yeah.
And a
and
variety of
prices are
exhibitors
not going
too.
down. So
Yeah.
budget is important. That is for sure.
And
But we're
Kelly
gonna
does a
switch up
great
our high
job
points
for
this year.
Yeah.
youth through select. So a variety of things for that table too. So like
Yeah.
Yeah.
coloring stuff for the kids all the way to,
So
what
cool.
a select might like and everything in between. Like sticker packs. Like we had
Yeah.
some adults last year that were like stickers and we were like, we had those for the kids, but okay.
Ew. Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
another element and layer that Kelly has to think through and does. I mean, I
Yeah.
can't stress how important she is to the organization and how much work she does behind the scenes for this because it's shopping, collecting, and then,
Yes.
running things by us. What do you guys think of this? Is this going to fit in the budget? And then do I have enough to do the other stuff too? And it's, you've been doing it for what, 3-4 years now, Kelly?
4.
Yeah.
Four.
Wow.
Okay.
I did
Yeah.
it
There's
when we were
So,
in
also
Springfield, so maybe 5.
oh
Yeah.
yeah.
My
Wow.
first
I
year
mean,
was the last year we were in Springfield.
Yes. I
So,
remember
it's a
that.
a long
cargo
time.
trailer of stuff
Yes.
So
to
Yeah.
trot over.
let me ask you guys this. So, as an amateur, I do like the jackpot money classes. Like I like winning money or money off my bill or something like that. Like I've always liked stuff like that. But I like winning stuff too. And I know some people like again, you're not going to make everybody happy, but do you guys feel like it's hard to find I guess I'm gonna like you have that table for, first through sixth or whatever and what about the people that feel like they don't get anything, so to speak? Like, do you feel like you have a hard time keeping that person coming back for more? Or do you struggle, like, as a board, do you guys say, but what do we do for that person that's not going to necessarily win the high point? How are we keeping that person excited to come to our horse show?
All right, horse girls, quick pause. Because if you've ever stared at a supplement label like, is this actually doing anything? I need you to listen up. Basic Animal Health is different. Their products are backed by real science. Chemists, scientists, engineers, not just pretty packaging. And they're formulated by competitive horsewomen who use this stuff on their very own animals. So if it didn't work or it wasn't palatable for their horses, it never made it to market. Everything is all natural, limited ingredient, show legal, and safe for every life stage. Let's talk gut health because that's where everything starts, right? Their gut health gel is the heavy hitter. 1 pump a day, immediate soothing from the esophagus through the hindgut thanks to time-released micro-encapsulated ingredients. Say that 20 times fast. Picky eater, the pellets have the same technology. Looking for foregut or preventative support, the liquid fits right into your routine. Now, if you're headed to a horse show, the trailer ride gel is elite. This is a gut support, electrolytes, immune vitamins. This keeps them drinking and relaxed on the road. I'm not going to haul without it. Need focus without dulling performance? They have the better ride gel. Muscle recovery, young horses tying up, or PSSM? Muscle health gel. They even have plant-based treat form supplements for your pups. So if you're done feeding supplements that just look good on Instagram, Head to Basic Animal Health. Use code Allie Hubble, all one word, at checkout for 10% off. Science backed, horsewoman approved, and it actually works.
So
Well,
every exhibitor gets an exhibitor bag still. So you remember that. So they get a really nice
Yes.
bag. I could probably go grab mine here in a second. And it's you automatically get a bag, you get a t-shirt, and then some of our sponsors
Okay.
are very generous and put things in the bag. So last year, Glamorous Threads gave everybody sunglasses, and they
Oh,
are
cute.
my favorite sunglasses. Like, I was like, I need more of these, Amy.
I like that.
And she's done like,
Writing that
boot
down.
polish and stuff like that. She's working with Kelly right now to figure out this year's thing. So I think that's one thing. Obviously, we try really hard to do the free exhibitor photos. So we always have a
Yes.
sponsor for that. Um, Instant downloads, which
I
is
love that.
incredible. We always get a great photographer. So if people want to get their
Yeah.
own personal photos done on
Yep.
site, Garwood
Yep.
has some beautiful landscaping in front of the main arena, or even just like down the rail in some of their pastures. So people have done that. I personally did that a few years ago, and they are some of
Yeah.
my favorite photos with my
Oh.
mare. But so they get an exhibitor bag, they get, the free photo downloads, they get meals. And we
Yeah.
try really hard also to have our Ride the Pattern clinic. So if they're a rookie level one or just want to hear from somebody different, in years past, we've done it on site. This year, with as big and heavy as our schedule is, we're looking to do it virtually to
Oh,
work with some clinicians to do it in advance and
gosh.
post it on our socials so people can, sit down and watch it in advance and don't have to come to the show. So we've always tried to do it live, but,
Yeah.
sometimes it was a little sketchy as to what time. So we
Yeah.
did,
True.
we're going to move to a virtual element so that way it can be available in advance, and trainers can still focus on their exhibitors and showing as opposed to worrying about when the Ride the Pattern's going to go
Yeah.
and all of that.
That is so cool.
So I
So
think
it's like,
those are all things that I love. I love a good bag. I love a good t-shirt. I love a
yeah,
good photo.
same.
I love good food. And to be able to just have time and hang out. I mean, Garwood's beautiful. If you haven't been, you need to go because it's just a beautiful facility to be at. They keep it
Yeah.
impeccably clean. There's tons of seating, tons of area to sit and watch, whether you're wanting to watch in the main pen or the ranch pen. So, it's just a cool vibe.
Yeah. It
And
seems
I
like
may
that.
be
I mean,
partial to
yeah.
that, but,
Yeah.
I think it's really a fun place to go.
So, Kelly, do you have anything else you want to add about the prize stuff and like what you feel like people, how to keep them coming back from a prize standpoint? Because, okay, let's be real. We all know there's no incentive fund anymore. We're not making money showing horses. So, there needs to be something that people are excited about. So, yes, okay, for me, yes, the t shirt, the grab bag, the
Yeah.
meals, I'm all in, the photo. So, is there anything else you feel like if people come to you and they're like, hey, I wish we had more of this, like any
every year there's somebody that's unhappy with something.
Yeah,
Um, so going back to incentive fund, I really miss that. I wish that would come
I
back.
know.
That was really nice to receive that check. Anyways,
Yes, it was.
I think with our circuit awards, I like to do three different things. So it's not
Oh.
everybody gets the same thing. Last year, I think we
Ah,
did a fan, a bucket, and a Amazon gift card.
Yes.
So
cool.
while I didn't let everybody pick, I try to pre-assign them. So like not every youth kid was getting the same thing because sometimes the same youth kid wins multiple circuit awards. So I didn't
Yeah,
want them to receive the same thing. Um,
yes.
same on every division.
Yeah.
We change it up every year. So it's not always the same thing.
Mhm.
Um, like I said before, I take opinions from everybody. I get on other associations things when they post, "Hey, what do you want to see on our,
Yeah,
year-end banquet? What do you want to see on our table? What do you want to see?" So I follow
right.
all those and, check them out. And I don't know, you just try to do different things every year. And
Yeah.
while
I
cash
think
is
so too.
king,
Yeah.
we really need to look into our marketing and make sure our name's still out there. So while I would also appreciate a good cash or gift card, it doesn't get us any marketing.
I
So
agree. I
we have to
agree.
watch out for that too. And it's really hard.
Yeah.
Um, Everything's expensive. And so
Yes.
while you're like, man, I showed in this class and I spent all this money and all I got was XYZ. Well, times that by 150 and that's how much we spent. So
Right.
it's really it's tough, man. You can't please everybody and you never
Mm.
will. And that's the hard part. And then when you're trying to pass out the awards and you have
Yeah.
to break a tie and
Oh,
people are unhappy and that's really tough. Jared was a really big help last year with the
yeah.
tiebreakers.
Yeah.
Um it's you just, like I said, you can't please everybody. And
No.
like it's not my fault. Don't come at me.
Yeah. Right. Right. Absolutely. No, I agree. And that's another thing. Like, I mean, but you guys seem to do well financially. I don't, Caitlin, do you want to speak to that too? I want to talk about how financially you guys make this work. And then I also want to get into we've kind of like talked around it, but like the challenges of running a horse show like this. And I know we've talked about you can't make everybody happy, but I want to talk about the financials and then kind of get into the challenges, maybe like two
Yeah.
challenges that you guys have come across and how you have fixed them or plan to fix them. So, Caitlin,
Yeah.
address us on the financials,
Yeah.
please.
Yeah. Again, we all live in Excel. So we are all very like black and white. Here's the
God bless.
numbers,
Yeah.
right? So, we've got a big pro forma that we have had for the past few years. And, we try to stay as organized as possible. So we're very clear, when we work with Jared and equine production, what are all of our expenses going to look like? How are we then associating our income?
Yep.
With all of our exhibitors. Obviously, like RVs, camping spots, and then stalls are going to be a heavy majority of that.
Yep.
But then we also, after years of doing this, we've kept our Excel workbook running so that way we can see line items of, okay, judges' food, what's that cost? What does each judge cost? So we kind of have a really good idea coming into the following year how to kind
Huh.
of project what we think our expenses might be. Obviously, we know with inflation, everything's going up, the flights for judges to come in,
Yep.
our hotels. So we're having a tough time having enough space for everybody. So that probably leads into one of the challenges.
Yeah.
So, we've been trying to be as proactive as possible to make sure that we, can just provide for our exhibitors. Like, what are your options when you come in? But yeah,
Yeah.
we live and breathe in Excel. So that way we're very clear on where's our income and then where's our expenses. But we have been, um, we've managed a profitable show the past few years.
Amazing.
But we also try to make sure we give back via the stipends, via, engagement, et cetera. So that way it's, we're doing it for our members.
I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
So, okay, so that does lead us into some of the challenges and the one right, it's space. So, and I know a lot of horse shows, a lot now require a sponsorship to secure stalls or premium camping, so on and so forth. And you read on the socials that people are like, well, if I have to pay a sponsorship like that just to get stalls, I'm not going and I'm not doing this and I'm not doing that. So from your perspective, why do you guys need those sponsorships to help people get space? If you could just explain that from your organization's perspective, I think that would be helpful.
Yeah. I helped with stalls and camping for the first time last year. And it is dynamic to make sure we get everyone to fit. So, Garwood has, I'm going to call it approximately 650 maximum stalls.
Okay.
And, I think when we opened stalls, we had about 900 on a wait list. So we kind of had to figure out, and again, we kind of go back to how do we do this methodically and very consistently. And that's where sponsorship comes in. I think that's kind of a fact of life of like, okay, if you're going to sponsor and participate with us as an organization, we want you to be there. Now,
Yeah.
that doesn't mean we don't want, person 900 not getting off our wait list. So
Yeah.
we were very active in our communication. As soon as someone let us know that they couldn't come, we were moving through that stall list. Same with our
Oh,
RV list. I think we have maybe 200 RV spots. and we
That's
maybe had
limited.
325, 350 on
Wow,
our list
yeah.
at one point in time. But we do move through those. People shift who can't come last minute, etc. So, I think communication is critical. And Michelle and I kind of partnered on that last year with, how do we make sure we got emails out and, just being as consistent as possible.
Yeah. No, that's impressive. I think that you're right. I mean, communication is key, right? In any of this stuff. You guys have said it like a multitude of times now, and I think that that's really important. And obviously, you guys work really close together, and you're always communicating yourselves so that
Oh
you can
yeah.
communicate to the exhibitors. So, how do you guys not fight on conference calls? How do you just how do you not fight?
I think that there's a lot of mutual respect.
Okay.
Some of us have worked together for a while and we understand strengths and weaknesses. So, I let Caitlin do the money. Like, I don't it's like when she goes through and like we just did our big budget meeting in January and she literally went through and talked to the horse show committee on here's what I think we need to allot for this,
Yeah.
here's why, here's inflation. I'm not going to argue with that. But I also think that, we
Yeah.
all I always, in running the meetings last year, running the meetings this year, we just had our in-person meeting 2 weekends ago at the Ohio banquet. So that's one thing that's really cool
Oh,
too is we have the opportunity for in-person meetings at the Ohio banquet. And I always make sure to open it up to the floor and make sure that, everybody's on the same page. And if there are objections, which there are,
yeah.
making sure that people feel seen and heard and that their opinion isn't just out there for funsies. It's, we'll take it, we'll
Yeah.
discuss it. We'll say, does this make sense for the organization and our
Right.
exhibitors? Yes or no? And if not, why? Or, can we table that for something in the future? So, and we do a lot. Like, we've talked about our amateur engagement stipend. We have a world show stipend.
Talk about that. What is that
Yeah.
one? What's that?
So that is for Ohio members
Yeah.
that represent Ohio at the AQHA World Show in
Uh-huh.
November.
Uh-huh.
And we cover your stall fee, $325. Right? Right?
How do
And
I sign
our
up?
our requirements are really easy. So you have to be an Ohio amateur member.
Okay.
We ask that you attend 2 of our conference calls
No big deal.
and right.
Yeah.
And this year we implemented 4 hours of volunteering at any Ohio affiliate show. So
Okay.
we recognize that, we have some individuals that show in other organizations that, we may not have that class at our show, but it may be at other Ohio shows. So
Okay.
they may not come to our show because we don't have jumping. But there
Oh,
are other
yeah.
shows that may have that.
True.
So if they're there and want to volunteer and help, we'll give them that stipend.
That is
So
so cool. And that is such a again, like those are like the little incentives to get people to go to the world show because
yeah,
I
it's
mean that helps.
expensive.
It's so expensive. So no, that's really, really cool. Wow.
So
I
yeah,
love that. Like,
no, I was just
no,
going
I
to
think
say,
that's
so back on
amazing.
the sponsorships, there are things that we do that, I mean, if you, our budget for the show is massive and we
Yeah.
give back almost every penny.
That's
And
cool.
we couldn't do what we do without the support of our sponsors and having Caitlin at the helm and making sure that we're proactively, looking at inflation and cost of things and
Yeah.
appropriating those funds accurately.
I love it. I mean, I think you guys again obviously doing an amazing job because you have that wait list of 900 people
Yeah.
that want to come and I I wish that other organizations can take from this because I think we it's been a huge conversation about bringing back the weekend horse show. And
Yeah.
we just need to find a way to do that because not everybody, somebody's big horse show could be your horse show, right? That could be
Yeah.
like their
It
one
is.
for the
It is.
year. Yeah. So how we need to keep those people excited about that. Um,
I think the
And I
you
piece
know,
think
that
one thing
helps
that we've
us,
done
we
for those
stay.
people. Oh, go ahead, Caitlin.
I think the one thing that, when you're kind of talking about the conflict piece, like we all try to come back to, okay, what's our goal? It's an amateur horse
yeah.
show. How do we stay focused? So that way we're not trying to be everything to everybody.
Yep.
So I think that's probably one thing that we've tried to really, when we have contention. Okay, what's going to be the benefit? We also have to
Yeah.
simplify. Like, I am a champion of simplification. So when we
Cool.
start getting a
Yeah.
little rowdy on, well, we can do these 8 things. No, we can't. We have to execute flawlessly. So cut it down to like 2 things that we can execute
True.
flawlessly. So
That's really
that's
true.
a piece that I bring to the table.
Yeah.
No, that's a really good point. And because I think like we get so caught up in, but we have to do this, but we have to do that. And again, we're not going to make everybody happy. Everybody's priorities are different when it comes to horse showing. And what is, what do you guys think is like the top complaint that you get from this, like after the horse show in your quote unquote suggestion box? What is the biggest complaint?
I think the biggest complaint is that we don't have any more stalls. It's not
Oh, yeah.
after the horse
Yeah.
show, it's ahead of time. And, unfortunately, we can't use the stacking method. There's only so many horse shows or, stalls and availability.
Yeah.
So that's usually the biggest thing is that, when people go online and they open up and they see that they have that timestamp that, well, I logged in and I had my confirmation at 9:01 and it's like, yes, but there's a lot of people that had it, before 9:01. And then it becomes a giant Jenga puzzle of after we have, our number of stalls, how do we fit them in? I know we've all seen Kathy at Equine Production. Kathy and Darla did that like game where it was like, hey, here's some trainers. Here's the stalls. You can't put this trainer
Figure
by
it
this
out.
trainer. And,
Yeah.
this person sponsors and this person doesn't. And it's like,
Yeah.
and it was so real life. And I giggled when I saw that. And then I went, oh, oh,
Yeah.
that's us.
Yeah.
So it is. I think it's, more so that we're limited by the size of Garwood and, we've had that, well, why don't you move to a different facility and why don't you, look at different dates or, what
Yeah.
have you. And it's like, there's so much that goes on the back end with dates and approval and not, overlapping other shows. And then of course you have the expense and the quality. So we've decided Garwood is the quality facility that we want to be at. It, brings a lot of different exhibitors. It's a beautiful facility. They, do everything for us. We didn't have that experience at some other facilities. And quite frankly, some of those other facilities cost more and
Yeah.
weren't as willing to work with us. So, we're pretty staunch in our decision on keeping it at Garwood for those reasons. The other thing is, allowing haul-ins. And
Yeah.
that is something that we stopped doing a couple years ago because A, there simply wasn't room and it became a safety issue too
Yeah, I
of,
could see that.
there's vehicles, there's campers, where
Yeah.
where are you going to park? And then if something were to happen, like how would
To get
somebody
out.
know if you're out in the back
Yeah.
40?
Right.
So,
Right.
I think that's been our biggest complaint is make the show bigger, but making the show bigger would also make it go longer and be more expensive,
Yeah.
for the judges and,
Yeah.
all of the prizes and stuff. So, I think Kelly, Caitlin, I don't know if there's anything else that I missed, but I think that's been the biggest complaint to us is making it bigger.
Well, and one of the reasons why we don't also want to make it bigger is remember, we're volunteers.
Yeah.
Like we can't handle a bigger horse show.
Yeah.
We spend hours and hours and hours before and hours and hours and hours during to put this
Yeah.
horse show on. We're maxed out. And that was
Yeah.
one of the reasons we made the big change, last year? To change
Yes.
from Chris Darnell to an equine production, just
Okay.
because we needed a little bit more manpower. Chris Darnell did an amazing job with us for many, many years. And, we thank her up and down because she helped us in so many ways and she still does.
Yeah.
You have any questions, she's a book of knowledge. But,
Amazing.
Yeah.
we needed a little bit more manpower and, that was a big change for us to do that, but remember, we're all volunteers.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
to make
Right.
it bigger, you need more hands.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I know. And again, I think there's something special about it being a smaller horse show. Like, yes, obviously everybody loves it, and but it still is special because it's not the madness. It's its own smaller. circuit. And I think it's nice to keep it almost like an exclusivity to being that size. So, no,
Well,
I think that's really smart of you guys.
it used to be connected to Buckeye Western, butted
Yeah.
up against the Buckeye Classic. So it used
Yep.
to be a circuit with that horse show. And
Yep.
then Buckeye Classic or the Buckeye Western and the Ohio Amateurs parted ways. And
Okay.
then that's when they made the split. So,
Okay. Oh
And
my
that was, I
goodness.
think, before any of us were on the board. So
yes.
um, yeah, I don't
Okay.
even know the lore behind that. It's not important.
So I have to ask this because we're going to wrap up soon so everybody can get on with their days. But like, there has to have been like either something crazy that happened or something funny. I need like a blooper moment that has happened that you guys are like, oh my God, we were, yeah, like we need to hear it. I need to hear like,
Everybody here
I
is
have
on
one.
TikTok. They've seen it. So in 2024, so it's no shock to anybody. I have a really bad knee.
oh,
It's terrible. So people will see me stretching. They will, you see any picture of me. I have a knee brace on under my clothes, and
uh,
my trainer is great about it. She doesn't make me run a whole lot before I have to do showmanship. And I was having a just fire run in the amateur, and to have a good run in the amateur is
a big deal.
just impressive onto itself, because I'm still
Yeah.
level 1 at a lot of things.
Uh-huh.
And I slipped, caught myself, and I was 3/4 of the way through the pattern and just slipped, fell, and my mare, God bless her, stood there and was like, "What are you doing, Mom?" Kelly's
Oh,
mom ran and grabbed her, and
oh,
it went semi-viral on TikTok. I know it was in the Add More Leg group. Um, I asked the photographer if she had like the play-by-play of it, and she goes, "As soon as I saw what was happening, I stopped." And I was like,
oh,
"I would have bought that picture and put it on a t-shirt." Like,
yes, yes,
um, so everybody was like, oh my God," because they all knew that my knee is really
yes.
bad. Um, so that was my blooper. I will send you the video if you want to see it. You
Oh
can
my
put a
gosh.
screenshot in there. Um, you know, but I got up, I finished, and then I went and had, we were running split pens,
Uh-huh.
went back, iced my knee, and my trainer's like, "Do you want to scratch?" And I was like, "Absolutely not. I'm going to go do
No.
it." Like, I
Yeah.
may hobble to and from the arena, but like, let's put some, get some drugs in me, put some, something on my knee, and
Yeah.
let's go.
But
Um,
don't you guys do mimosas at the amateur showmanship pen too?
we have for years. Last year we didn't, but
Oh.
we do always have White House Fruit Farm donuts.
Oh.
So after that, my trainer went and got me the biggest, gooeyest
Yeah.
looking donut,
Donut.
and she was
Yeah.
like, "You earned this today."
Oh
Um,
my.
but I can laugh at it. I
Yes.
was okay. Everybody's like, "Oh my God." And that's the great thing about, the amateurs and all the trainers that we had, is I had so many people coming up to me after that, and they were like, "Are you okay?
Yeah.
Oh my God, your knee. Oh my God. Like,
Yeah.
we felt so bad for you." And I was like,
Yeah.
"It happens,
It does
it just,
happen.
happened at a top 5 show."
I think has everybody fallen in at least like a warm up pen or yeah, right. Everyone
Yeah.
has, right? Like
Yeah.
we've all done it. I know. And I think, and that's something too I have been hearing more and more is about like camaraderie and that I'm saying we, but as an AQHA community, that we have lost that a little bit. That like at the reining and some of the like the rodeo events, they just have such a stronger family feeling.
Yeah.
And me personally, I feel like we do have a pretty good camaraderie. And
Yeah.
it seems like you guys have that at your horse show. And that's what like I want people to know like you're always welcome at these horse shows. It's,
Yeah.
I hate hearing like, oh, I'm not good enough to go to a quarter horse show. Yes, you are.
Yeah.
Yes, you are. There's no one saying that you're not allowed to come. There's no one saying that you're not good
Right.
enough. Just please come and try.
Right.
Like I
And we
think,
have the rookie
yeah.
and the level 1 classes.
Yes.
So, we welcome those people, because I'm that person. Like, that was one thing that, I had FOMO too, like, or not FOMO, but imposter syndrome. And I was always
Yeah.
like, I don't know. And then everybody was like, "No, come, like, show." And,
Yes.
you know, it's been, you know, just a great experience for me, both as a board member and an officer and the president, and, to be the person, but also to have so many incredible humans on the board with me who, we're all rowing in the same direction and making sure that, we have an incredible horse show for all of our
Yeah.
exhibitors.
Yes. Yes, I agree. If there's anything else you guys want to add to about that and like being welcoming and wanting people to come to your horse show, even if it's their first AQHA horse show, like I guess, yeah, like let's end on that. Like if you guys have any messages that you want to put out there about even if it's somebody's first time.
Well,
Yeah.
I love seeing new people. I am not shy in the slightest. I know
Yeah.
everybody probably knows that. But
Yeah.
I'm very outspoken. I'm the one that will just tell you what I think. Um, to just come talk to us. Come in the
Yeah.
wardroom and talk to me. Like come up to any of us and we're all very nice. I know
Yes.
you're on the AQHA Amateur Ambassador program too,
Yeah.
Allie. I just joined.
Yeah.
So I'm
Good.
excited
Yay.
to start
Yay.
that, and
Awesome.
hopefully I can also do that at the Little Buckeye. So we'll see.
That
Yeah.
yes, for sure. I love that. Oh, cool. Awesome. I love it. Caitlin, anything else you want to add
Yeah.
about that part of it?
No, I think it's just we love having people come to the show. We love your feedback, and I think being able to see people like get excited about being able to
Yeah.
show in such an awesome
Yes.
facility makes such a difference. And be able to show with us, we definitely welcome that. We love seeing it.
Yeah, I think so too. I think you guys do such a good job, and like you're on my list again this year. I'm coming.
Come.
Even
Good.
you know what? I might just even if I don't have a horse to bring, I'm just coming.
You can come
So
hang out with us.
I'll help. I'll
We would love it.
volunteer.
Yeah.
Get your hours in, get your world show
Yeah.
stipend.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
seriously. Seriously. No, I think it's amazing. And I thank you guys so much for hopping on and doing this because, again, I commend you for all of the hard work you put into this. I think you guys are amazing advocates for AQHA showing. And I think I wish all of the associations could take just a little piece of what you guys are doing to make their affiliate clubs a little bit better too. So
And if people want to
awesome.
reach out and if they need a
Yeah.
little bit of help or
Oh,
guidance, like
please.
by all means, like we would love to be able to, hey, we thought about it this way or this was our approach, etc. Like happy to help.
Yeah.
We have
I
lots of
love that.
opinions and we're willing to share them.
I love that.
We're
I
not
love that.
perfect, believe me.
No. We're
No,
like
and
we're
that's
like ducks, right? So, at the horse show, we'll be like, oh, we have. So one thing is, at our horse show, directors will have a different color shirt than the exhibitors' shirt, so
oh,
you can identify us. We'll have name tags on, so you'll be able to find us. But we're like ducks, right? So, we look very calm, but underneath we're like paddling, and it's like, oh, there's like
yeah,
55 things going on. So,
yeah,
that was one thing last year is, I was pulled in so many different directions and it was like, oh man, it's like, this is incredible. But also like, I had like all these tabs open. So,
yeah,
just know that, we're super excited to have the show and there's so much to it and comes together and we're so, so proud of it. I mean,
yeah,
we, have been a top 10 show for the past couple years and we're waiting on the official results for 2025, but are pretty
yeah.
confident that it's going to be up there. And
Like it's a top 10 show, like compared to the Arizona Sun Circuit, right?
yeah, hmm
Yeah, like
yeah,
crazy, right? Isn't
yeah,
that wild, you guys? Like,
it
oh,
is like,
amazing.
it's
Good job.
just, and I don't want to like, I don't want to feign that it's not important, but it's just, it's kind of shell shocking. Like, oh my God, we're amateurs that put this on. And
I know.
and we have a top 10 show and it's like all us. I mean, yes, we
Yes,
have Jarrett and his team that help a great deal. And, obviously, like Kelly said, Chris Darnell is a source of, wealth of information for us.
yes.
But it's put on by the Ohio Amateur Group. And,
Amazing.
it's
Amazing.
incredible. So we're
Yeah.
very
No,
proud of that.
you guys
And
are
we
really
appreciate you
incredible.
reaching out too, Allie. Like it was such a fun text to get like, hey, I want to talk to you guys about the Little Buckeye and see what you guys
Yes.
do and what the secret sauce is. And I don't know that we have the recipe, but I think that, we definitely have the main ingredients for it.
You sure do. And that's seriously, I had talked to Caitlin about it like a while ago because with my involvement with AQHA, there is just, it's constant talk about how to improve the participation at a non-world show level,
Yeah.
like that weekend horse show level. And I just feel like you guys have it so well figured out. I was so impressed that I was like, what is everyone else missing?
Yeah.
Because you guys got it. Yeah, for sure.
We
For
certainly
sure.
try.
For sure. Well, keep doing what you're doing. Thank you guys so much for doing this. Maybe we'll have to do it again after the horse show and
Yeah.
do like
Come
a
to
quick
the horse show.
recap.
Allie,
Yeah,
get a stall, come to the horse show.
I
We'll
know.
do live on the scene.
Oh my God. I would love that.
We would love that.
I would too.
It'll be a little bit warmer, hopefully, than what
Yeah.
it is right now. But
This is
um,
bullshit. It's bullshit. I still have
it's
like 2 feet of
offensive.
snow outside.
Right. It was 50 degrees yesterday. I'm fighting something with the weather change, but
Yeah,
yeah,
same. My
it's
nose is like running like crazy the whole time. I'm like,
yeah.
it looks like I do cocaine. I don't do cocaine. I just have a runny nose.
Don't we all? So yeah,
yeah.
but please, we would love to have you come show with us. Obviously, if that doesn't work out for you or,
And
whatever, come just hang
Michelle,
out with us.
you wanna tell them the important dates? You wanna
Oh
tell
yeah,
her the
tell us the
important
important
dates?
dates.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. So important dates. We're asking our sponsorships to be in by April 1st. No April Fools. We will open up stalls on April the 15th at 9 a.m.
Okay.
And then we will open up camping on April 29th.
Okay. Awesome.
And that's a change
So
from last year too, because we
yeah,
had some exhibitors and trainers ask us to change that. So
yeah,
we
yeah,
listened.
Perfect.
yeah.
Perfect. I
So,
love
we
that.
had a little bit of feedback as to timing and in advance. And obviously our stall scaling date is going to be June 15th. So, there's a lot of time and a lot of activity between when we do our stalling confirmations and wait list and when, obviously everybody gets their final numbers. And as we all know, horses,
Things happen.
they like to
Yeah.
do gymnastics sometimes
Yeah.
or, find new and exciting ways to make us spend money at the vet.
To break their jaw. Yeah, that's
Right.
what happened to me. I was like, you've got to be freaking kidding me.
Yeah.
I know. Unreal. I
Okay.
know. Well, okay. And remind us again when the date of the actual horse show is.
July, it starts the 9th,
Oh,
10th,
okay.
11th, and 12th.
So you're
And
not
it's
even taking away from 4th of July activities. People can
No.
spend time with their families and then go do what they
Yeah.
want for the horse show. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. Well, ladies, again, I'll let you go, but thanks again so much. I am looking forward to this. And honestly, it's so exciting. It's so exciting. And I think you guys have like the way of the future for horse showing. And I hope, like I said, that other clubs at least take a little piece of this and apply it
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
So
We're happy.